Jumbo, fellow adventurers, happy Monday. Time for a spiritual tune up. Hope you had a great weekend. Uh, these talks are made possible by your questions. I'm answering two of them today about dealing with family members, children, partners who aren't quite there. They think you've drunken too much Kool-Aid. They're not buying your woo-woo shenanigans. How to deal with them. Whatever your question is on the nature of reality, I spend these mornings every day, Monday through Friday, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time, answering your questions pertaining to otherwise maybe confusing, lofty, gray areas with regard to spirituality and metaphysics, manifesting in particular, and bringing them down to earth to give you some traction, some peace of mind. All right, so today's question, what about family members? Specifically, Mike. Let's see here. Mike, yeah. Where's the question? How do I help my adult kids or friends who are stuck? For that matter, how do you help your young kids? Everyone here is on their own mission. Everyone here is on their own adventure into distilling Maya, as we talked about last week, the illusions versus what is real. And the more truth we have, the greater the freedom, the more fun, the more love, the more adventure. So when it comes to family members, and I'll talk about partners next in this same session. But when it comes to family members, young kids, adult kids, brothers and sisters, respect their journey. Not that you aren't. You ask the question because you care about the relationship. But I remember my mom, rest in peace, used to get really annoyed at me or other people, family or strangers, and she would often say, somebody needs to teach them a lesson. And she would usually try to be that person to whack you upside your head and tell it to you, not violently, but the way things really are and how ignorant you were and how stupid you are and blah, 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 blah. And I used to, think she was right because she was my mom. But as you always have to start thinking for yourself. And I started to realize that it's like, no, nobody has to tell them the way things really are. Nobody has to whack them upside of the head. Life does that really, really, really well. I mean, you could not have a better tutor than life. It is the ultimate spiritual adventure. You bring about what you think about, and when there is confusion and misunderstanding, oh boy, does that show up in your life in a big way. That's the ultimate karmic come around, okay? Not a scoring system. I've talked about karma before, but it is your thoughts come back as things. And if you're missing a beat, oh boy, it's going to be all over the place. Let your family members go through that. Now, of course you love them. You can tease them. You can say, hey, I just read this really great book. But if you've already tried that 100 times, look, they're going to see right through you. Let them go. Let them off the hook. One of the best things you could share along those lines, if you haven't burned that bridge already, is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, The Secret on the Law of Attraction DVD, not the book, unless they're an avid reader. The DVD is 90 minutes, and there's nobody who won't be bouncing off the walls with excited optimism going forward. And then it's not you telling them, big brother, big sister, mother, father, sister, uncle, whatever. It's an independent source. I'm one of the 25 people in The Secret, I'm proud to say. It is a thrilling introduction to the powers we all possess vis-a-vis our thoughts becoming things. So tease them, invite them. More important than anything else is be a model. Let your life rock because you know the truth, right? The truth that you want them to abide by it yourself. When you start clicking and the manifestations start rolling in and you've got friends and laughter and opportunities, they're going to be like, what's with mom? Mom, how do you do that? Mom, what's your secret? Mom, or dad, or brother, or whoever you are. Be the example, particularly when you got young children. People often ask me, given that I have a young child, what do we do for our kids? It's like, look, they're already there if they're, 10 and under. They're already there. Take notes from them. Live in the moment. Be happy. Be expressive. Follow the joy. Follow your feelings. But when they start getting older than 10, okay, so then you want to talk about, maybe you're going to win the spelling test if you visualize and practice. And start bringing in elements to help them shape their life. It's amazing how receptive my daughter at 4 and 5 years old was to not saying bad things about herself. I have a bad memory, she would say, and silly things like that. I said, no, you have a great memory. You get what you think about. All right, so love them, tease them, be a model, and you can always visualize for them and pray for them, not to a God who decides, because there is no such God, but your concerns felt through communion with your higher self and the divine will make a difference. Now, this is a huge question I often get, probably every week from somebody out on Facebook or Instagram about helping your kids. Can you help them? Oh, heck yes, you can help them. But it is their life, as I said at the outset. It is their adventure. They're learning their way. They're a sponge. They're watching you all the time, and they're listening to you all the time. And you can reach those, like if they get in their teens and they're really like not talking to you anymore, you can reach them through your love, through your joy, through your vision of their happiness. They will feel that. Whether or not they act on that now or later is their deal. You cannot make them get A's in math. You cannot make them a better soccer player. You cannot force their life through visualization and prayer. But as I've said before, you can increase exponentially chances of their breaking through in ways you like by helping them with your own thoughts. You can influence them the most by helping them with your own thoughts. But they have to go the final yard themselves. When it comes to partners, this is a little different, okay? I got to believe that since they're your partner, there's a lot you at least at one point had in common, and chances are extreme that you still have in common, even though you may be a little bit further down the path of awakening than they are. Here, again, love them, model for them, try to tease them with the secret or a book, but don't push it. But especially when it comes to partners, you really got to let them find their own way. Apart from gently trying to steer them, enough is enough, because just as you don't want to be influenced by them or to be told by them that you're not serious enough, that you're not working hard enough, you don't want to hear that, okay? You've been there, you've done that, you know it doesn't work. But how would you feel if they kept saying, you need to be more serious, you need to be more logical? It would be like conversation, relationship killer. And if you're like, you need to dream more, you need to be happier, you need to self-reflect and do creative visualization, that's a killer. That's going to hurt them beyond the gentle introductions. And here's, when it comes to enjoying who they already are, all those things that already brought you all together. I mean, you don't have to be doing creative visualization together and share every same dream together to go for a walk, to admire a sunrise, to marvel at your kids, to spend time and enjoy their families, even though you might have different political or spiritual views. There's so many ways to enjoy the company of another person, particularly one you've shared so much with in your life. And here's what I started to say a second ago. Consider that you and your partner, married or not, may be like ancient spiritual gangsters, okay? And you generally learn at the same rate. You're generally at the same place. You've generally got similar ethical standards, morality, etc. You generally like the same kind of movies or TV shows. Now, you don't have to have all those things to have a great relationship. But let's just say generally, you've gone in and out of different lifetimes with them. Trading places, you're the male, female, male, female, blah, blah. just experimenting because you learn so well with them. That doesn't mean you get along and you always agree. Maybe you rarely agree. But there's some kind of je ne sais quoi that makes you two generally very compatible. And now all of a sudden, going in and out of lifetimes, you start kind of really hitting your stride. And you're like, man, there's order here. There's magic. There's no devil. There's no hell. There's just love. We're being pushed on to greatness every day. But your partner doesn't see that. It probably hurts you more than it hurts your partner. But you're still together, thick and thin. And so you're shown that you could choose a lifetime with them where you will really be hitting your stride in the illusions, even though they won't be. But they want to be making this decision with more clarity than we typically have here, more memory than we typically have here. They and their guides, you and your guides, they want to be in your light this lifetime. And you're like, oh, hell yeah, I want to do that. I want to help you. I love you more than I can even put into words. Let's have another amazing lifetime together. And so in this lifetime, your agreement, spiritual agreements, you can break them. There's nothing unspiritual about breaking a spiritual agreement, as ironic as that is. But your spiritual agreement is to be the light for them in this lifetime. Maybe last lifetime they saved your butt. Maybe it was the guillotine for you until they intervened. Okay? And you're just like, look, you're just the bee's knees, and I want to be there, and I am going to radiate truth and joy, and I'm going to be a model for you to lift you from the murk and mire. So now you get here, and you're kind of chasing your dreams, and you found each other, and it's been mostly really great, but boy, are they slow. Boy, they're just not getting it. Boy, and you're just like kind of writing them off. Like, look, you know what? I can't wait forever for you. You're just not getting it. You won't even let me talk about the law of attraction. Wouldn't that hurt? Wouldn't that suck? After your life, you're like, this is a lifetime that you chose in part to be their light for the love that they've shared and the life that they saved in earlier realms. And you got impatient because they didn't wake up as quick as you. Oh man, I can't believe I did that. Now that does not mean you have to stay with anybody, okay? You don't. There's nothing unspiritual about a divorce. There's nothing unspiritual about parting ways. It's all good. You're loved and adored, and you got to do what's right for you first and foremost. Taking into account your kids and responsibilities, that's easy to do in stride. You don't have to make a knee-jerk reaction and end a relationship because they don't practice the law of attraction. But if there's such a difference and you've grown so differently, it is okay. But I would really want to be sure in my deepest heart of hearts that was the case before I ended a relationship. So I would just urge everyone to be extremely careful when it comes to such a gigantic decision. Pray, ask for help, visualize your future happiness, their future happiness, and see how circumstances shift. And don't think that they need to be where you are for there to be a great relationship, because that's just totally not the case. My wife is very spiritual, but in a very different way than me. And it's good, you don't want to be too similar. The very last thing I'd have to say about relationships and family, no matter what the relationship, too often people worry that their dreams won't come true because they have a partner or their entire family kind of against their views. Like they're all religious, or they're all this, or they're all that, and here comes you, and you want to live in abundance and have friends and creative expression and meet Oprah Winfrey. Nobody can stop you from doing those things, okay? And don't blame your family or friends. Now, granted, you might be spread thin and you might have other responsibilities, but don't let that false idea trick you into thinking you got to get rid of them because otherwise your dreams can't come true. You can be happy. You can eventually move towards abundance. Maybe not if your kids are in diapers right now, maybe you can. You're going to have to pace yourself because you've got a lot of great priorities and a lot of love in your heart for a lot of people. But pace yourself. Don't be impatient, and realize that you can have your cake and eat it too, in wealth and abundance, friends and laughter and international travel. post-COVID, no matter who you're married to. And if they just can't handle it and they want to move out, well, then peace and love to them. Any separation should always be done with love in your heart, whether you want it or they want it, and you're going to be good. So you're not vulnerable. You can do it and have it all. Long answer. Thanks for your time today. See you tomorrow. I'll be answering your questions below on Facebook and Instagram. And tomorrow I'm doing a really exciting mini manifesting workshop on understanding accidents, setbacks, and disasters. You want to understand the nature of reality so you don't give your power away through doubt and question marks and fear. So you got to be a member of Infinite Possibilities. Join today. If tomorrow's workshop sucks, you get a full refund. Otherwise, it's $15 a month. And every Tuesday, I jam 30 minutes with handouts and exercises on a mini manifesting workshop. Okay, everybody, thanks for being here. Who do we have on Facebook? Jamie, Jonah, Joanna, Gwen, Ron, Kathy. On Instagram, Heather, Faith Like Gravity, Mindfully, Mia. Okay, well, thank you all for being here, and I'll see you mañana. Hasta la pronto.